Asteroid mining is potentially the most lucrative business venture out there, as the opportunity is worth quintillions upon quintillions of dollars. If anybody actually has a shot at successfully mining asteroids, it would of course be Elon and SpaceX. Moreover, asteroid mining could be extremely beneficial to SpaceX, as it would essentially fund a Martian base and even a Martian city. Despite this though, here's what Elon Musk thinks about asteroid mining.
I'm not convinced that there's a case for taking, say, platinum or something that's found in an asteroid and bringing that back to Earth.
So, what's the problem with asteroid mining, and why is Elon Musk not interested? Well, starting off, let's take a look at the inherent problems with asteroid mining first, and then we'll move on to the specific reasons Elon Musk is not interested. First of all, the Earth already has a crap ton of mineral resources. In fact, the Earth is the largest rocky planet in the solar system by far. Jupiter, Saturn, and all the other gas giants are basically useless when it comes to mineral resources. The closest planet with similar resources to the Earth is located all the way in Alpha Centauri, which is 4.367 light years away. So, the Earth already has quite a bit of minerals for us to use. Moreover, the process of asteroid mining is not easy by any means. For starters, asteroids don't really have a gravitational field. Take asteroid Gaspra for instance. Scientists estimate that Gaspra has dimensions of 19 by 12 by 11 kilometers. But guess how much a 200-pound man would weigh on Gaspra? It's not 100 or 20 or even 2 pounds. A 200-pound man would actually only weigh a mere 0.1 pounds on Gaspra. As a result, a speed of 10 meters per second or about 23 miles per hour would be enough to escape the gravitational field of Gaspra. And the thing is, mining is not a particularly peaceful activity by any means. After all, you're essentially breaking apart rocks to extract the desired mineral. Whether you're doing this with pickaxes, explosives, or heavy machinery, it's quite likely that you'll have rocks flying off in all directions at high velocities. On Earth, this wouldn't be a problem as these rocks would just fall to the ground. With asteroids, however, these rocks will literally just fly off into space indefinitely, making it quite difficult to efficiently mine. Something else to consider is that asteroids have no atmosphere. And the thing is, rockets often take advantage of the Earth's atmosphere to not only launch, but also re-enter and land safely. For instance, the Starship belly flop maneuver heavily depends on the atmosphere to slow its descent. So, clearly, we won't be seeing any belly flop landings on asteroids anytime soon. Anyways, another major consideration when it comes to asteroid mining is the power required to run the machinery. If we do get into asteroid mining, it would definitely be with the help of automated rovers and mining equipment. I'm pretty sure that we won't be sending people to asteroids to mine manually, as this would simply be way too dangerous. As a result, we'll have to rely on robots. But as we all know, robots don't just run by themselves. They need fuel, and a lot of it. And when you're trying to mine in the middle of space, sourcing fuel isn't the easiest of tasks. The first option is simply carrying as much fuel as you can while traveling to the asteroid. As our rocket engines and mining equipment continue to become more and more efficient, this option will become more and more feasible. Long term though, the key to successful asteroid mining is having a sustainable energy source. In the middle of space, the only such energy source is the sun. Right now, our solar technology is nowhere near enough to sustainably run an asteroid mining operation. For instance, the International Space Station has 35,000 square feet of solar arrays, but even that is only capable of producing 120 kilowatts of electricity on average. At that rate, you would need a full-on power plant filled with solar panels just to power a single mining drill, according to Bloomberg. Thus, powering a portable mining rig will no doubt be quite a challenge. But let's say you're able to figure out how to work through a low-gravity environment, and that you're able to figure out a way to sustainably power your mining equipment. Even then, you'll still have the massive challenge of transporting it back to the Earth. There is of course the main challenge of actually building the rocket responsible for transporting the mining equipment and minerals back and forth. But there's also a lot of smaller logistical challenges as well. For example, how will the machinery be unloaded from the rocket? How will the machinery be positioned in the most optimal positions? And how will the mined minerals be loaded onto a rocket in an efficient manner? These are definitely all challenges that can be overcome, but it won't be the easiest to do. And that brings me on to the underlying issue that all of these categories present, which is funding. Whether you're trying to create a super efficient and sustainable power source, or you're trying to develop portable autonomous mining machinery, you're going to need massive amounts of research and development, which costs massive amount of money. Just getting such an operation on its legs will likely cost tens of billions of dollars, if not hundreds of billions of dollars. And though there are massive riches waiting for the ambitious miners on the other side, it's not guaranteed that every miner will even end up reaching the riches. So, hopeful miners will have to convince massive investors to essentially gamble large amounts of money on asteroid mining. And that's the problem with asteroid mining. It's basically just extremely difficult and extremely expensive. But that doesn't mean it's impossible. Given enough time, effort, and funding, I'm sure SpaceX could figure it out within the next couple of decades. However, Elon Musk has no intention in actually doing this for several reasons, starting with purpose. Elon Musk is an engineer, and his main focus is solving problems around us. Tesla helps to reduce air pollution. SpaceX helps humans to become multiplanetary. The Boring Company helps to reduce traffic, and so on and so forth. But what in the world does asteroid mining accomplish? Sure, it makes the miners extremely rich. However, it doesn't solve any of humanity's problems. Now, if we had a shortage of some sort of important mineral, I'm sure Elon Musk would be happy to get into asteroid mining. But when the only upside is monetary gain, the operation is just not appealing to him. Moreover, neither SpaceX nor Elon Musk need any more money in the first place. Elon Musk is already one of the richest people in the world, and his wealth is only going to grow over the next few decades with or without asteroid mining. And as for SpaceX, millions of investors around the world are literally waiting for SpaceX to go public so they can throw money at it. Aside from this, SpaceX is also working on launching Starlink, which will pull in billions of dollars for SpaceX every single year. So, clearly, they don't need the money, and they're frankly not interested in it either. It should also be pointed out that Elon Musk doesn't think that we can mine asteroids for cheaper than just mining here on Earth. Anyways, another major reason SpaceX is not interested in asteroid mining is because it will take up a lot of their resources. And I'm not talking about financial resources. Rather, SpaceX will have to devote a lot of manpower to the operation, and they'll have to dedicate portions of their factories and their testing areas to asteroid mining research and development. Currently, manpower is SpaceX's second most valuable resource, and this is not something they can just go out and buy. There are a limited amount of super talented rocket engineers in the world, and SpaceX is constantly on the lookout for potential recruits. Moreover, the main factor limiting SpaceX right now is technological improvement. They have made significant progress with Starship, but there's still a long way to go, and the only thing that can get them there is research and development, which requires tremendous amounts of manpower. As a result, it makes no sense for them to split their manpower and push back Mars simply to make more money. And that brings me on to the most limited resource SpaceX has, which is time. Elon Musk is about to turn 50 years old this summer, and there's still so much work to be done in just getting to Mars itself. It took SpaceX 18 years to get people onto the International Space Station, and though that's an awesome achievement, at this rate, it will take decades more just to get to the moon. Evidently, Elon Musk is running out of time, and I don't think his inclination to overwork is really helping his case either. Right now, SpaceX's goal is to reach Mars in 2026, but really, we all know that this is likely going to be pushed back to 2028 or the early 2030s. Even if SpaceX is able to get people to Mars in the early 2030s, Elon Musk would be 60 years old by then. Considering that the average life expectancy in the US is 78 years old, Elon Musk may only have 20 years left at that point. Now, I hope that he lives 90 and maybe even 100, but at the same time, I think it's best to plan conservatively. With that being said, he'd likely want to focus on establishing consistent travel to Mars in the 2030s, and potentially building a Martian base in the 2040s. These are already super ambitious timeframes, and any distractions will simply further reduce the likelihood of achieving these goals. And that's why Elon Musk refuses to get into asteroid mining. At the end of the day, asteroid mining sounds super cool and futuristic, and it is. But it's also extremely expensive and difficult to successfully accomplish. For a leader like SpaceX though, it might just be possible within the next few decades. However, other than capital gains, there's really no purpose for it at all. Factor in limited resources and time, and you'll quickly see why Elon Musk has no interest in mining asteroids at this point in time. But who knows, maybe that'll change after they reach Mars. Why do you guys think Elon Musk is not interested in mining asteroids?